Hey everybody, welcome to episode number 51. I've got some background music playing here today. It's like, what's the time? 7:15 at night tonight. And every Wednesday night, we're just outside my office, they have like this bar that goes off on a Wednesday night. So if you can hear this music going on outside, I'm not going to apologize, it's quite nice music, to be honest. But anyway, it's been a pretty busy day today. I had a massive announcement yesterday in my inner circle group, which was awesome. So my inner circle has just like completely blown up, and like I always said, I was going to cap it at 50, and we're there. We're at 50. I can't get any more people in, so had a couple of options. Is really just to limit it, or I could expand my coaching circle, right, and look to get some awesome new coaches in. And so that's what I've done, and I have secured an amazing coach who's coming on board with me, but I cannot give the details of this just yet. It's still all hush-hush. My inner circle know what it is, and they're all like, they're totally on board and really super excited by it. But what it will mean is that once we launch this, we're going to open the program up to a lot more people, which is going to be awesome, and they're going to get some amazing support. So that was a really exciting thing for me, and actually it'll be officially launched at the Sell and Growth Seminars, which will be hosted in September this year. So we'll be doing a lot of build up for that. Tickets will go on sale hopefully next week. I'm hoping next week. I haven't finalized. There's a few things I just need to finalize. Hasn't gone on sale just yet, but we'll be doing pretty much all states of Australia, and also going to New Zealand and the US, which is really exciting, and I cannot wait. And then we'll be launching the coaching program during that seminar, those seminars also. So really cool. And it was actually with this new coach that's coming on board. It was actually with her that I really wanted to talk about one of the conversations I had with her, which was yesterday, which actually tied in a little bit as well with one of my other coaching clients, Desiree. And she asked about, in my group, she was asking about influencers on Instagram. And I know this is such a big topic, right? Because a lot of people say, a lot of digital marketers always go on about like Facebook and Facebook marketing, Facebook ads. And then there's the other side of it's like, well, you got to build your Instagram as well. And the thing is with Facebook, the difference I find between Facebook and Instagram is that Facebook tends to, your people who follow you on Facebook tend to be the same people who are in your area and will use your services. People who follow you on Instagram can sometimes be like a mix of people who know your business, they want to follow you on Instagram, but also people who are like, you know, the other side of the world, or they just saw, you know, one of your posts and liked your images, or people who genuinely are going to use your services. So Instagram is a tricky one. And so recently I made a post that I've been trying Instagram for a little while now, and it's recently, since I've been doing Instagram stories, that I've seen a massive engagement on my Instagram story. And so my followers has just ticked up, and I've been getting a lot more like direct messages and all sorts of stuff from Instagram stories. So I've been using the posts on Instagram for a while and posting pictures and whatnot, but it wasn't until I really started doing the Instagram stories that I started to see some really big Instagram like response. And the coach who's coming on board, I was talking to her about it, and she was saying the same for her business. So like she's in the beauty space, and so when she started doing stories on Instagram before and afters, she started to see like people booking in, and it was like, okay, cool. So what I've sort of had this thought for a little while with Instagram. It's like you really got to get the right people to follow you, and one of the things that is really hard is how do you get the right people to follow you. So Gary Vee has this strategy, and I did a video on it today. So if you go to Billy Rickman Official on Facebook, you'll find the video I did on it, and it's called like the Instagram hack. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about. And so if you go on there, it shows you how to get influencers into your business on Facebook. On Instagram that are local to your area, because that's the thing. That's the hard thing to do on Instagram, especially like, you know, a lot of my clients are hair clients, and they put heaps of like awesome haircuts and styles and colors and all that sort of stuff on their Instagram. And they get huge amounts of likes and a huge amount of people who are following their page and stuff, but really it's just people who are interested in good haircuts, and so they're not, so the ability to be able to turn them into bookings becomes like much more difficult than it would be on Facebook. But what I'm finding is that it's not harder on Instagram. You've just got to have a completely different way of doing it. And so Instagram for me has like become, like I said, since I started doing stories and looking at the data, it's become so super interesting to see just how you can manipulate Instagram differently to Facebook but still get the same conversion. And I wasn't sold, up until a couple of months ago, I really wasn't sold on the whole small business doing Instagram to get bookings thing. And I just thought it was really hard. Like, I compared it to Facebook, and Facebook, like I said, your audience is your audience, and usually they're people who are going to buy from you, right? Inevitably they will buy from you at some point. Whereas Instagram, I found like they weren't. I get people from all over the world on Instagram who they're never going to do business with me, but they may like some of my pictures, or other businesses who are trying to do business with you on Instagram, and so it was different. And so, like I said, I started doing Instagram stories and I started seeing good results. And so that's point number one. I definitely recommend you start doing that. I'm now just trialing out Facebook stories as well. I've never used Facebook stories overly consistently to get the results. So I'm starting to use Facebook stories as well to see if I can get a different result on Facebook as well, which is going to be cool. So I'll let you guys know the updates as the information on that comes to hand. So the other question that Desiree asked though was about influencers, and how do I get influencers in business for my small business, and is it worth it? So I don't know, my opinion on this has wavered and changed. Right now, where I'm sitting on the whole influencer thing is that I don't think that it's an important part of a small business's marketing strategy. And for me personally, like, I've got a pretty well-established franchise system. We've been around for 10 years. I've got a lot of clinics, and I've had influencers who are like local to the area, who are doing just things in the local area, and probably have 10,000 followers, something like that. And then I've also had influencers who have got like close to 1 million followers, who are in the area but aren't just local to the area. They've got followers and fans everywhere. And they put up a post and they get like a couple of thousand likes and things like that, and they expect a lot of money in return for that, and they certainly expect a lot of freebies in return for that. So I've gone from both ends of the spectrum, and do I still use influencers in my business? Not for my Billy Rickman coaching business, but for my XY franchise. I still use them, but the thing with influencers are that it's really, really hard to find someone who is really committed to your business, who will go out there and plug your business and send messages and try to drum up business. And for a small business, if you're looking at like the time it takes to find one, the time it takes to nurture that relationship, the time it takes to follow up, the time it takes to actually do whatever it is you have to do for them for free in order to as part of the deal, and then to follow up and analyze the bookings and see the response and things like that. It's a lot, and it's a lot of time and a lot of money, a lot of resources. And I reckon for anyone who has a small business, it's minimum sort of $3,000 to $4,000 a year in cost, right? And so you've got to try and recoup that money. And so I guess that's what you really need to do when you look at influencers. Is it something you want to do because you just feel like it's a good idea, and you feel like, well, that would be pretty cool to have someone like plugging my business, but you don't look at the other side of it, the time and effort and energy and money and things like that go into actually nurturing a relationship with an influencer. And the other thing I've found as well is with influencers, they're pretty fickle when it comes to loyalty, right? And if you are someone who is an influencer and you're like, oh, shut up, Billy, what do you know? Look, I'm not saying everybody. This is my personal experience. This is what I found, is that influencers will come and go. Like, they will come in, they'll use you for a couple of services and treatments and products, and then as soon as you start putting pressure on them a little bit to say, hey, you know what, I'm not really getting bookings from your plugs, it's almost like they just go and abandon you. And so having an agreement in place is really important, and making sure that it's a fair and equal agreement. Like, if you're going to be giving them all these free services and free products or whatever your business is, and almost like if with our brand as well, we're able to build their brand from our brand as well, because we have a lot of followers on our social media, right? So, but the agreement has to be fair, and there has to be rules of the game where there has to be accountability from them to be able to build business for you. Otherwise, what you end up with is just a pretty face who's just getting free stuff from you. And so finding an influencer is really important, who is right for your business. And so, like I said, if you go to my Billy Rickman page today is, what is the date today? It's 30th of May. So if you're listening to this another time and you're like, oh, what's he talking about? Go to my Billy Rickman page on the 30th of May, and I uploaded a video, or go to my video library about Instagram hacks, right? And if you do that, you'll be able to find people in your area. If you do that for a couple of days, you'll be able to find people in your area who are actually local to your area, who have a crossover of clientele, who can actually genuinely drum up business for you. And so instead of having to spend lots of money on a big influencer who may or may not get you business, look for people, especially for small business. Like, there'll be some people listening to this podcast now going, yeah, but I've got a massive business and it's nationwide or it's international. Then sure, go out and find someone who can support that. But this message here is mainly for like small businesses or medium businesses. You got to find people who are local to your area, who have an influence on the people who are local to your area. And the best way to do that is to watch that video, like I said. And it's an old Gary Vee strategy, but it definitely works, and that's the way to do it. Other than that, you really need to think about whether or not your Instagram influencers are an important part of your marketing strategy, giving your marketing budget. Like I said, if you've got millions of dollars to throw away, just do it. If you've got $100,000, do it, right? But if you're someone who is, looking at your marketing budget and going, well, I've only got a certain amount of money, where should I put that money? I don't know if Instagram influencers are the thing that will really generate you the bookings and the revenue that you need. And a perfect example is that I'm always going on about building your bot list and building your subscriber list on bots. And one of my coaching clients, she's got 600 subscribers, which is not a large amount, but she's got 600 subscribers. And she just asked me before, hey Billy, can you help me get some bookings tomorrow? I'm quiet. We sent out one message, 15 minutes later, she has now up to $1,400 worth of bookings and 14 hours of clients booked in. You don't get that from an Instagram influencer, right? And so that's the bit you got to weigh up. So if you have a small budget and a small restriction on how much marketing you can do, I don't think it should form part of your main marketing message. If you do want to go into that space, make sure they're the right fit for you and your brand, they represent you, and make sure it's an equal agreement. Like, you're going to do stuff for them and you're going to give them lots, make sure they're giving it back to you as well. So that's kind of the thing on influencers and how to do it. And that's just from my experience. And you know what? I might do episode 155 of my podcast and I'll be like, hey, you know what? Episode 51, I was totally wrong. Influencers are the thing you should be focusing on, because that's what will get you the biggest amount of money. That's what will make you the most amount of, will get you the most amount of clients. So I was wrong. But all I can tell you is from my experience now doing this for 10 years and really looking at Instagram followers and influencers from the past like couple of years and trying small ones, local ones, medium ones, massive ones with huge following, like giving the world, not giving much, like trying so many different things. I've just found it hasn't overly worked, but I'm sure there's other people who it has worked for. And so I'd love for you to comment on this podcast and let me know how you did it, what worked for you. But if you are going to go down that route, yeah, do those things and then follow that video, because you'll be able to find an influencer who's local to your area, who has a crossover of clients, and you'll be able to build an audience on that. And I guess that's my message for today. So if you've loved it, please go to YouTube. All you need to do, because I'm on this mission to get to 5,000 YouTube subscribers, and boy, it's bloody hard when you're not spending any money on ads to try and get people there. So I'm trying to do this totally organic, so I can share with you the sort of the things I've learned over the last 30 days. I'm now on like day 12, I think. And between you and I, I'm not even at 100 yet. So it's kind of embarrassing, but I don't particularly mind. I'm learning lessons along the way. So if you are listening to this post right now, if you are on a podcast, please subscribe to that podcast and then jump over to YouTube and subscribe to my YouTube channel by searching Billy Rickman. If you're watching this on YouTube, then go to hit that subscribe button right now, and then flip over to my podcast, look for the Billy Rickman Show on iTunes or on Android, and subscribe to my channel there. And also a really exciting thing as well, I'm just about to launch tomorrow my podcast page on my billyrickman.com website, where you'll be able to access all of the podcasts with the videos all in one convenient location, which will be awesome for you guys. So heaps of stuff going on. Hope you enjoyed this message today. If you have any questions at all or comments, please leave a comment or question below, and I'll always respond. And subscribe to my channels, and I'll be back for episode number 52 tomorrow. Can't wait to present then. Have an awesome night tonight, guys. See you later. Bye-bye.